Have you ever wondered how Die Hard would have turned out if instead of John McClane it would have been Santa who had to face the action? Oh, you didn't? Not even in the slightest? Well, but I guess I made you curious now, don't I? Hi there, it's Micha. If you'd like to find out more about the scenario, then follow me for this short review video. At the start of the movie, we meet Santa sitting in a bar taking a break from his work on Christmas Eve. He is depressed about Christmas becoming too commercial and parents buying too much on their own, making him almost obsolete.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
While he rants about this to the other patrons, who of course don't believe him to be the real deal.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the ranger do most of the work.
We are shown that he truly is, as he leaves the establishment via the roof, where the barkeeper, with eyes full of wonder, sees him leave on his sleigh. Before being hit by a splash of vomit from above, courtesy of drunk Santa. Cut to Jason and Linda, a struggling couple who are only spending Christmas together for the sake of their daughter Trudy's happiness.
We decided that you could have one gift.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
While Linda would much rather celebrate at home, just the three of them, Jason was insisting on going to his mother's estate. His family is a rich and unaffectionate bunch, and Jason's submissive demeanor towards his mother was often creating tensions in their marriage. And led to them being estranged now, but Jason promises that this will all change, as he has a surprise planned. But no, the surprise is not that his family, his sister's family, their mother and her staff are being taken hostage by armed criminals, who are all going by Christmassy aliases like Candy Cane, Gingerbread, Sugar Plum and Tinsel. Those guys, under the leadership of John Leguizamo's character, who goes by the moniker Mr. Grinch,
welcome to your worst Christmas ever,
are only interested in the $300 million which are supposed to be stored in the mansion's vault.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Stumbling into this mess is Santa. As machine gun shots wake him from another break he took in the mansion's study because it offered a comfy massage chair that he just couldn't resist.
How's the stuff?
While he is creating a little bit of turmoil while dealing with one of the intruders,
I don't want any trouble, okay?
Trudy uses the confusion to make a run for it. Planning not to get deeper involved, Santa was about to leave. When he is reached by Trudy via walkie-talkie, as she is on his nice list.
Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list.
He couldn't bring himself to leave her behind. And while he, as they would say in Rick and Morty,
do a Die Hard.
What does that mean?
Sneak around, use air vents. You've never seen Die Hard?
No, I've never seen fucking Die Hard.
Well, neither did the guy in Die Hard, so you're nailing it. Trudy
booby traps her hideout, doing a Home Alone. Just more violent. With the criminals even getting reinforcements, this night will turn out violent. But who will end up having the upper hand?
Time for some season's beatings.
As I alluded to in the beginning, this is a really intriguing concept, which is the reason the trailer for the movie really piqued my interest when I first saw it. Of course, the concept of violence around Santa Claus is not a completely new idea, though in movies like Silent Night, Deadly Night, it is not really the real Santa who is involved. The closest entry that comes to mind is the recent Mel Gibson movie Fat Man, where a killer is out to get Santa and there is a big shootout at Santa's workshop, supported by the elves. So Santa as a one-man army for good is still a quite fresh take on Christmas. With David Harbour in the lead as Santa, they found a compelling actor to keep the balance between funny one-liners, action and drama.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Because as this is an action comedy, you could easily overdo it, turning it into a complete farce. Which might still work, but would make you lose your emotional investment. And this makes movies work even better. The rest of the cast was also doing generally a convincing job, though some more than others, but overall there is nothing to complain here. The budget was also solid enough to allow great visuals and set designs. And did I mention the best already? The movie comes with an R rating and really capitalize on that. When it comes to physical confrontation, the camera doesn't shy away from violence, just as the title promises. So definitely leave the kids at home for this one, or if you watch it at home, send them to bed first.
That's naughty! Where is it?
I gotta watch.
The culmination of that can be found in a scene where the reinforcements arrives and Santa gets through them with a sledgehammer for a quick and bloody body count in the mid-20s. Because as we learn, back in the day Santa used to be a Viking warrior named Nikamund the Red, whose weapon of choice was a big hammer named Skull Crusher. This is pretty much the only thing we learn about his backstory, besides the fact that he is still married to Mrs. Claus, happily, though both had to put in the effort to make it work for hundreds of years.
It takes work. A lot of work.
At first, the lack of explanations bothered me a bit, as Santa often says that he doesn't understand the Christmas magic himself. For instance, when he sticks his arm into his sack and always comes out with a present for the right kid.
So you're gonna tell us what's the gimmick with the bag?
It's magic. You put your hand in, out comes a present. I don't really understand how it works either.
He appears to be the original Santa though, but we don't get to see how the Viking became the jolly old Kringle. And as he doesn't understand it, there has to be a story behind that. My guess was that they might shine light on this if there is a sequel, or prequel to the movie, so they kept some secrets. Apparently this is correct, as a sequel is planned depending on the box office results of this one. Internationally, the movie seems to have brought in a slight profit, and with the movie just being released on demand right before Christmas, it should make enough extra bucks so that there may very well be a continuation of Santa's story. A sequel would very likely involve his wife and the workshop at the North Pole. Speaking of Mrs. Claus reminds me of a missed opportunity in this movie. Near the end of it, Santa receives a present from her, which is his hammer Skull Crusher. In another scene, he is trying to find a present in his sack that could be used as a weapon. So, as the hammer was addressed to him, it would have been so cool if he would have just pulled it out of his sack when he needed it. Sure, the normal sledgehammer also sufficed, but it would still have been such a cool moment.
Poetry book. Die Hard on Blu-ray. Fuck!
My best guess, maybe they wanted to do it that way, but it was too early for them. At that point, we were not familiar with the Viking angle yet, so that was likely the reason. Though the gag with the sack could have been brought in later again as a recurring thing, which now would have had an even better payoff. This touches on a thing that also was a little bit detracting for me: the way Santa's skills were presented. He was a solid fighter from the get-go, but also took quite a hammering himself. Considering his past and the fact that he is Santa, I would have expected more strength and some immediate healing powers, but basically he is just a human with human powers. I guess overall they were right. This is a better approach than to make him invincible. Even though sitting in the audience, I sometimes wished for it at least a bit. With that being said, the one thing that is left is the rating. But before we go there, let me ask you to like and share this video if you enjoyed it so far. And if you are no subscriber yet, maybe consider to change that. By also hitting the notification bell, you will get a heads up for most of my new videos. Now for the rating. All in all, I really enjoyed this movie a lot, especially the over-the-top violence throughout the whole movie. I would have wished for Santa to be more of a killing machine from the get-go, but maybe that would have come with less of a payoff. I'm fine with them not diving into the mythology around Santa as long as there is a sequel where they very much do dig into it. A bit more would have been fine though. I'm also happy with the ending, though, without spoiling you, I think they overdid it a little bit with the reliance on Christmas magic to explain things. And how it was conjured. And choose the easy way out, but at least the outcome made up for it. So even though all was not done perfectly, most things were done very well. Hence I'm going with 8 out of 10 points, even with a slight upwards trend. I could see myself rewatching this one next year around Christmas, and maybe also in years to come. I could see this one becoming a modern Christmas classic, of the more adult kind. So if you are not offended by violence, check out this movie and enjoy what is dished up for you. What do you think of this movie? Have you seen it too and agree? Or do you have a different take on it? If you haven't seen it yet, was I able to pique your interest too? And if so, what exactly did it for you? This and whatever else you like to share, let me know in the comments. So much for now, see you next time and thanks for watching. Turning it into a complete farce, which might still work, but would make you lose your emotional investment. And this movie makes work